Well, it's over. One of the best seasons of television of all time has come to an end.
Anything to ever touch a little screen, big screen,
That's it.
anything.
You got it.
I thought I'd nail it right
I knew this was going to be a slower episode. I knew that it was going to be winding down on the farm arc, and I loved that Thorfinn went home.
Okay.
To me, this felt... So, remember, I watched Vinland Saga Season 1 when it dropped.
Right.
Okay? I know you came into it way later.
I still watched
waiting for Season 2 for a very long time.
Yeah, I don't know that
Watching Thorfinn come home, and it was, like, weirdly wholesome. There was no, like, drop at the end.
Right.
There was no, oh, shit moment. Everything's still fucked. It was just a great closure to the last, 4 years of Vinland Saga.
That's how long we were watching that show. It felt like it.
It's been 4 years since Season 1.
Oh, okay.
So it felt beautiful in the way it ended. It felt just. It felt like there was beauty in the how it came to an end without that, like I talked about, the something at the end to be like, but here's the next baddie. It's literally going into Season 3 with a lot of questions and possibilities without any cliffhangers. It was beautiful. His sister might be the strongest person in the entire series. The way she hit him against the wall, she might beat the shit out of Thorkill. I don't know. I'm just saying.
She was a big burly girl.
She is Thor's daughter. I'm just saying.
She got his height and size, I think.
Yes, and his strength, too, because that girl is strong.
Right.
The conversation Thorfinn had with his mom where he explained to everyone in the town. I love how they didn't, like, labor that point. They just said Thorfinn explained his life the past 16 years.
Which I was surprised that it was 16 years.
16 years.
I assumed it was between 10 and 12, if you asked me.
And his mom, just the way she told him that this is your journey, and she didn't ask him to stay. She didn't say, I'm going to miss you. She basically said, this is your journey. I love you, and go do it. Thought that was beautiful. It was like closure for me. The last 2 seasons has been this like build-up, and then it was ended so beautifully.
Right.
And I know I'm going to cue you in here to get going.
Perfect. I've been
it was slow,
sitting on the edge of
boring,
my chair, ready for this.
Yeah.
So, Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 24.
Yeah.
This is what we're here to talk about today.
Yep.
Literally one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I thought it was very beautiful. It was wholesome.
Okay, shut up, man.
No, I swear to God.
No, shut up.
If I was invested a little more, tears would have came. It was a beautiful episode.
Wow.
Thoroughly.
Okay, you've shocked me. I don't even know what to say. I do not know what to say.
I was more involved in this episode than probably any of them in this whole season. I love because we've all, like, if we haven't, you will feel this. Like, at one point, you're going to leave something.
Yep.
He was coming back home. He started questioning who these people were because he doesn't know them.
Yep.
They are totally different people. Then, when he started recognizing his sister, and she kicked him in the face. Because, like, that would be a reaction, because she believed that the stories that Leif was telling them was just something to keep them calm. She didn't believe she had a brother.
Do you remember when Thor's died? She was the last one to want to believe it.
Yeah.
She went right to work. She was still doing all the cattle. She was still doing all her chores until she had a quiet moment to break down because it hit her.
Then forgot about Thorfinn, because it's been 16 years. That is a lifetime. Thorfinn was what? 4, 5, 6? Okay.
Something
that young. Obviously, a lot of things have happened between then and now, to where you might be like, okay, maybe Leif was just telling us these stories,
right?
And, making it all up, and then
I might even believe that same thing.
Yes, because you want to create that, like, the happiness and like, so you don't feel as sad,
that sorrow and that loss of like a child that you've lost.
Yeah, and she was young, he was young, so that bond, whatever. But him getting there and then like him recognizing her, that was like a moment. Like, okay, like. It's all starting to click back, because when they landed...
I'm so happy to hear this.
He was asked, like, oh, well, do you know who I am if you're from here, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, took a guess and was wrong. No shit, because you're a random dude from a town that he had no recollection of. And I like you said, I appreciated the point that they didn't they didn't take the time to show us
retell the whole story, the whole episode.
But they showed clips.
Yeah.
And which I thought was neat, because it was like, oh, I remember that. Like, it was like everything getting ready and then clip backs. And when he saw his mother, she knew immediately. And when they put the hollow picture of Thor's behind him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they do look alike,
They
except
do.
blonde and dark.
They do, yeah.
But like facial structure, they're all the same.
eyes,
Eyes are the exact
yeah.
same. And you know, you're right. Why would she feel some kind of way if he wanted to go make a better world? That's what her and Thor's did.
Exactly.
Going to
That's
Iceland.
exactly right. And
So-
she said, "You really are his son."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh man."
And then when Leaf stepped up, well, let's roll it back, because when Eonar was going to go sleep with Leaf and the boys down at the other house,
Yeah.
and she's like, well, no, if Thorfinn says you're his brother, then please, like,
Yeah.
we'll make do. Like, they had all the grandkids, the brother-in-law, I would assume, showed up, and he remembered him. Like, obviously they were probably around the same age.
They were, yeah. And I love that everyone came together and said, "We are going to help you build this." Leaf was like, "I'm going to be a part
You're
of
going
this."
to need resources
Yeah.
and manpower. Okay, he stands
That
up.
was so
Obviously,
cool.
Eonar was going to be there anyway. But no, this episode was, I honestly, I don't think they could have ended the season any better.
I'm glad you said
Because
that.
here's what it is. And it's not like you weren't looking for the next baddie, and they did end it on a cliffhanger that you might wait another 4 years for. Because now, not saying I didn't
Please,
get
Mappa.
used to, Thorfinn's goatee and his pony,
Yeah.
and he came out totally different, which I'm fine, but this is a new turning for him.
It is.
This is, now we're going to travel there, and he's going to start a new life. Now, albeit it's not going to be real. Like, obviously, peace is not something, because even Iceland will get there. But the mother supported. I feel like the brother-in-law and sister would go if they didn't have kids. Like, they want to try something different. And he's got the support. And Thorfinn, too. I like him. Remember when he tried to step up and be like, "Oh, hi, Mom." Like,
Yeah.
and then Leaf was,
Yeah.
don't make it any more confusing than it already is.
When he came up to Yulva and he went to go embrace her, and she was like, "No."
Well, that punch that, the stranger was in her house.
Yeah.
That was like, who is this?
It was funny too.
It was, because, like, and I wore this shirt for a reason, because, like, when Eonar said one punch, I was like, well, of course it's all, like, and rocked the shit out of Thorfinn.
Yes, she did.
Because he couldn't just dodge it off, like he did the 100
It's
times
his sister.
before.
He's not on his edge.
Right.
But she's big,
good.
strong.
And
the cliffhanger we did get was the fact that it's the formation of the group. We're going
And
to
we're
America,
setting sail.
Vinland.
Yep.
And we know that Leif Erikson in history is one of the first person to discover America.
What a great explorer. Like, he made it
Yeah.
there. They made it there.
I'm like, when they get there, something tells me it's just like everywhere else. Like the
Maybe.
indigenous that might be
Yeah,
there,
there's people
might
there.
still be.
Yeah.
Like anyone that might be there is still human.
And they got to get there.
Yeah,
That journey ain't
the
going to be
journey
fun.
there might be really interesting.
Now, depending, because they got to get more boats, because they got to bring more people, they got to bring food and supplies, because that journey to get there, like,
Months.
it could be a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just really looking forward to it. And if it takes 4 years, I'll be really sad. I didn't expect you to say anything positive about this, so it's kind of struck me. I came here to defend the honor of Vinland Saga, and I'm not. So
And
I'm really
not
happy
saying
about
this
that.
just to be. No, I thought this whole episode just pulled at your emotions.
Yeah.
And, like,
in a good way too.
Like, relatable emotions.
Yes. Yep.
Like, I know you're going to say the whole season did that, but
I'm glad you got that out of a few episodes.
this episode, I was trying to think back of the ones that I actually enjoyed. This is probably my favorite episode.
I did not see that coming.
I thought it was cleanly done
and
in 25 minutes.
it's like a clean slate moving forward.
Right,
Like,
we're
we don't
done.
know
We are
anything
done
could
with
come up.
Canute.
Yeah.
We are done with Thorkill. We're done with the farm.
I don't think we're done with
I
either
believe-
of those, Canute and Thorkill. I don't think we're done with them.
I mean, here's the thing. I think they're going to have to show up at Iceland at one point and make, like, hey, this is where they went.
I think the Vikings might go after Thorfinn. I think because
Yeah, you never know at this point.
the Vikings are very bad. I think one of the major storylines will be how distraught and angry and frustrated the Vikings are with Canute's new direction.
Of, like, Floki's Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Like, those, the angry ones.
The Yomes Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm mispronouncing that, but
Might be close.
that's going to be a storyline. Whoever they meet in America, Vinland.
I think at that point, like, obviously history that they base this whole thing off
Exactly.
of exists over there. We don't know much about what happened when they made it over, so it's almost like a free-for-all. Like, you could create it and make
Exactly.
a fun story out of it and make it truly your own.
Tie history to your
Yep.
own creative process.
And what you think happened.
Yeah.
Like, what happened, who'd they meet, how'd they do it.
Did they
found
die?
it, right.
Did they ever go back? I don't even want to look at what happened in real history because I just want to be surprised and
I honestly
with
don't
what
think
they
there's
actually
much
come up on screen.
I don't think there's much on, like, boats and, like, pieces of, like, artifacts have been found
Yeah.
here. Like, that's about it, but, like, nothing, like, written.
Oh, I did see something. Mappa already confirmed it's coming.
Season
So,
3.
Season 3.
Obviously,
yeah.
you ended it like that. Like
Well, I think we had to wait a while
we
for
have
season
to
2.
get to Vinland.
Yeah.
Like,
And
this
we
is
know
what
Leif
this is all
Erikson
about.
made it to America.
Yes.
I think it was somewhere in Canada he ended up.
Yeah, I
landing.
think it was like up in the northern
Yes.
parts. But
And where if you land there, I don't know. Maybe they'll make it Hawaii. I mean, maybe they'll make it like a
down in Florida,
yeah, like-
with the alligators,
like
start fighting
like
Florida man.
Miami. Or so you imagine rolling at Miami, you're like, this is paradise.
Right.
What the fuck?
No,
this
I
is
think
paradise.
Well, they're going to compared to Iceland, obviously as inhospitable as that is, like they made a life there and relatively peaceful. No one's going to go out to Iceland. There's nothing to take.
There's a
there.
reason why Thor's went there in the first
Right.
place. Everyone looks at Iceland and goes, nope.
They
Where else are
drove
we
by
going?
it. They rode up on it.
Yeah.
They make do.
It's like a
When
flyover state in America.
Leif was
you know?
explaining.
Sorry,
like,
anybody who lives
it's not like there's very little farmland. We
Yes.
can't raise cattle.
It's
we
hard.
can't do anything.
Remember
You
how
just-
Einar was like, wait a minute, what?
Yes.
Like-
yes. He's driving up on it. Like,
I'm
this
Mr.
isn't-
Farm. You don't have farm? Wait,
No.
what?
They're very limited things, and I don't know. This episode was a very good episode.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, that was the end of season 2. Everyone, it's no surprise how much I love this. It ended beautifully. It started beautifully. The beginning, middle, and end was like television perfection to me. And I'm not going to get into the review too much.
No.
But as far as season 2 goes, we closed the book on it. I'm very happy we ended agreeing on an episode. That actually makes me
right.
happy.
That is a fresh opinion.
Yeah.
Like, and it's the last one,
It
but
makes me. I know we're going to disagree in the review, but at least ending the season, we are on the same page. So on to the review.
Yes.
If you like what we're doing around here, please like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate everybody who came along for the ride. You guys have been fantastic. We've had so much like.
whether you hated me, loved Ryan, only loved Ryan.
They only love me because I agree with them. But and I acknowledge the greatness of Vinland Saga. But yeah, truly, we appreciate everyone who's come along for the ride, and we love you guys. As always, have a good one.